Welcome back to another video. I'm Tad. You're watching Tips for Technicians. Today we're reading schematics, we're talking about capacitors, and talking about run load amps for motors using your meter. If you want to learn more about being a technician, then stay tuned. Let's get started by looking at this schematic here and talking about this capacitor. What I found today was a bad capacitor on this New York unit. I did not have a 70 plus 75 dual capacitor, where we have hermetic and common, and then we have our fan terminal for our outdoor fan motor. I actually had two capacitors. I had a 7.5 and then I have a 70 over here. So what I did was I put a wire from the common terminal, which this wire right here, that comes from the load side of the contactor. It has a common wire that goes to the common terminal. So we've got a wire joined from this capacitor to the other one, and this is a 4-wire hookup for the fan motor and capacitor instead of a 3-wire hookup. So we've got a different hookup here, very easy to do. All I have to do was take a wire from common to the other capacitor, and we're in good shape, guys. We got the motors running again. I use my meter to measure the amp draw by putting on AAC and pushing select, and then I measure the indoor fan motor's current, the outdoor fan motor's current, and the compressor, and then I look at the service facts over there and make sure that it's within the run loader amps. So I've got 10 amps here, black wire for the compressor coming from the load side of the contactor. I'm measuring the amps of the compressor while it's running, so I've got 10 amps. And then measure the other side, I've got 9 amps. Now, let's take a look at the indoor fan motor. Indoor fan motor is 3.25. Remember all these readings? We're gonna look at the side of the unit here, and I'm gonna show you something before we look at this schematic. So I got 3.2 amps for each of, and this is the line voltage going to the indoor motor. This was the line voltage going to the compressor. That's 3.2 amps as well. So now we're going to measure the amp draw for the outdoor fan, which is right here, this red wire, 1.71. This is the wire going back to the common side of the terminal here, and then it joins that. This is the outdoor fan motor, one of the lines, which we're going to take a look at the schematic. I'm going to show you how to trace these wires real quick, how to read a schematic. It's very easy. Now, look at this. Compressor, run load amps is 21. We had 10, so that's half. Looks like we're in good shape there. Indoor fan motor, we had 3.2. This is 5.4. And what you're going to find in the field, that the amps over here, where it says electrical loads or your service facts are, it'll give you run load amps, and then it'll give you lock rotor amps for the compressor. And usually, you're going to be half on run load amps, or you're going to be right at run load amps or a little bit below. Outdoor fan motor, we were measuring 1.71, we got 1.7. So if my outdoor fan motor amps were high, indoor fan motor amps were high, then there could be a condition causing that, okay? And that's one thing I want to tell you. You definitely need to make sure that you pay attention to your amp draw on your motors, especially when you change a capacitor or make a field repair. Then you can find out if there's still a problem. Whether the bearings are bad, I need to check the bearings. Whether there's an airflow restriction, I need to check a filter. I need to pull this panel off and check the coil. If there's a ductwork issue that's causing the amp draw on the blower motor to be high. So yeah, there's cause and effect. And that's one thing that I need to tell you in this video, because that's going to help you in the field, is realizing there's a cause and effect. For this capacitor going bad, there is a cause, okay? The effect was it went bad. All right, let's take a look at schematic, and I'm going to talk to you about how to go through the schematic and look at different things. Let's look at this capacitor, for instance, and the contactor. The contactor has on the load side a brown and white wire right here, a black wire, and then on the other side we have a red and 2 more reds. So we got 3 reds over here, and then on this side we got a brown and a white and a black. So we come down here, we take a look at the contactor, we've got L1, L2, and we got T1 and T2. So T1 and T2 is load side. That means from here to here we go to the load. The compressor is the load. Outdoor fan motor is the load. Indoor motor is the load. All right, and then this side is the line. So I had 3 reds, right? I had 1, 2, 3 reds going to the load side, okay, from the load side, all right? And then I had a black and white for the other one. And I thought that was a brown and white, but I guess that's a black and white. So it's very easy to figure out how to trace your wires. You just have to know where the wires come in and where they go out, and you have to look at the system and look at the components. Very easy. You just have an in and an out, inputs and outputs, and that's all this is. We've got 3 wires that go to our compressor, our common, our start, and our run winding, and then we've got our dual capacitor, and that's what we did have, but I added a wire. So we have a red coming from the load side going to the common of the capacitor, a red coming from the load side of the contactor going to the capacitor, and then we have another red that was attaching to that red, and it's going to the outdoor fan motor. That's how I knew this wire went to the outdoor fan motor, and I was able to measure those amps. And then let's go over here to the other side. This black goes to the compressor, and this black and white goes to the outdoor fan motor. So this black and white goes to the outdoor fan motor, and we can measure that winding and figure out how many amps the motor's pulling by clamping our clamp-on amp meter around this. And then we have another black, and it goes to our compressor, okay? So pretty easy. Now our lines coming in would be black on this side, and then the other one, of course, we'd have our field supplied power. So, and then we'd have a purple that goes to the common of the transformer. Everything here is 24 volts. Looks like we have a bunch of 24 volt circuits here, because this is our secondary 24 volts. That's our control voltage. And then we have our primary right here. This is our primary voltage coming in, purple and black. And then we've got another wire here. What color is this? Black. So we've got 2 blacks on this side and a purple on this side. Let's find our transformer. Transformer, 2 blacks on this side, 2 purples on this side. This is our primary, and this is our secondary. This is our common, which also goes to our ground. So there's a ground terminal there, and this green wire joins to the ground, and then we have our 24 volt, our red. And this goes to our control board, it looks like. So how can we find that? Red goes to our plug, powers our 24 volts. All right, so this right here is how you read a schematic. It's very easy. You have just input and output, and this is your contactor, single pole contactor, and everything's labeled too, so that's pretty awesome. These newer units have much easier diagrams to read. Cooling unit with gas heat with scroll compressor, 230 volt single phase, because that's what the 1 stands for, and 60 hertz. So this is our 24 volt wiring here. Common, red, orange, yellow, W, and G. We don't use the O because this is not a heat pump, it's gas. If we had the O, it would be for the reversing valve. York energizes and cooling. And all these are 24 volt circuits. We got a gas valve, okay? We've got a pressure switch, and it opens and closes. It looks like it's normally open, and it closes whenever the inducer motor comes on. And then we got a rollout switch and a limit switch that are in series, and it looks like they're normally closed on both of them, and they open, okay? Normally closed, and they open whenever there's a rise in temperature. So our rollout switch is right here, it's manual reset, and then our limit switch is in this panel, and it's not a manual reset, it's automatic reset. So there's our igniter, and then we've got a flame sensor right there, that red wire. Here's our control board. See, this is our 24-volt circuits. Up here we don't have a plug, and on here looks like we don't have any wires, so that's a good indication there. There's our blower delay. Everything is labeled really nicely on this unit. It's very easy to read, so I want you to know how to read schematics. So today I just wanted to spend some time reading. This is our contactor coil, and we've got a blue and then a yellow, and we've got a high pressure switch in series, and it looks like it opens on a rise. So it's normally closed, opens on a rise, and we've got a yellow coming from our pressure switch going into our contactor, and then on the other side we had two blues. So this is a video on how to read schematics and cause and effect. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you want any more videos. If you do, check out my playlist, Tips for Technicians. As always, thank you so much to my members. I'll keep you cool if you let me.